Tom Grossi's in the building.
I do hate the Vikings. Yeah.
The Detroit Lions got Brian Branch. The Packers could have had Brian Branch.
Mahomes just fires it and intercepted! Pay for the D! Going deep for it, going for it all. Caught! And nobody's there! Run! What happened, Bears? What happened? Who would have thought?
I know. Look at us.
Quick throw.
Oh!
No! Yes! No!
Let's make some noise.
He's gotta go finish the story.
Oh my God.
Wait, he caught that? This game is on drugs.
Sorry, wildflower just must have inhaled too much.
Why right again? Why would you do this, scriptwriter? Half a freaking frackin' million people. We raised a frickin' frackin' $1 million for charity.
The NFL Fan of the Year is Green Bay Packers fan Tom Grossi.
It's frickin' time.
Grossi Posse Nation, welcome to an episode of Packers Podcast where you don't have a Packers fan, but it sure does help. I'm your host, Tom. We streamed for 7 hours last night. I am exhausted, but we are still here for one of, if not the best season of Coach Grossi. Let's go, baby! Let's go. Just 16, just a quick one today. Just a little quick one. I haven't had time to rouse the lungs. It's hot down here, you know. Ghost! But if I won't be able to stay for all this one, just want to say I love the West Rewatch and all the others. Thanks for this, Tom. Much love. Hey, I appreciate you. I'm just glad that people are enjoying it. You know, that's what's important. I wanted to make sure that I did this beforehand. Is a significant time commitment, but it's definitely worth it. And before the final season of Coach, which I really need to start getting on quickly, but I need to finish this first. So, yeah, we're gonna rock this season. There's a lot going on. So, of course, season 3 is season 3. Going through some stuff. West Saga comes out. And then, again, this is really the first season of Coach that, like, I didn't have teaching before this or anything like that. And things kind of take a turn, I would say, in this season. I would say the production value goes up pretty good. A fair amount, I would say. A fair amount. And then season 4, yeah, season 3 is great. I love, exactly the same. Like, I love season 3. I think that 2 of the best episodes I've ever made are in season 3. The Fear and, of course, the New Beginning, the finale. But this one, I mean, there's episodes that I love. I'm very curious to rewatch episode 3 because that's a fan favorite here, and that was the episode I was the most disappointed with this season. So I'm curious to see it from a different perspective now and going back and watching it. But the last 3 episodes, and you could even argue the 4th one, because the 4th one's really good. I'm sorry, the 5th episode's really good. You could argue there's 4 in a row. But the stretch of the nightmare, the love, and then the cost is just so good. It is just the quality of, it's like a Sheamus match. It's banger after banger after banger. Adrian, Tom, hope you're doing well. How did you come up with the idea of Coach? Not sure it's been asked before. It's been asked a few times. Yeah, it's basically an extended autobiography. Obviously, there's a lot of personal stuff that's in there. But it's also a story that I've wanted to tell, and it kind of mixes in the idea. Live stream is really good. Going back and watching, that's a top episode. And it really just, I wanted to combine a whole bunch of different elements and do like a deep dive into kind of like my life, and it helped me process a lot of things, turns out. And yeah, I want to tell the story for a while. Daniel, can't stay long. Just wanted to say, don't get too ambitious, all right? Otherwise, you might start hearing cello. Woo! That's right. We're going to hear Daniel's music by the end of the season, baby. Come on now. Come on now. We're going to get it. We're going to get it. Yeah, characters get introduced in this one. It features the longest episode in Coach history. So, yeah, it's just good. It's just good. After the South Saga, it was for the GCU, it was downhill. I don't know, man. North Saga, I think, is one of the best. Coach season 5, pretty good. Pretty good. Longest episode of Coach so far is going to be this finale, so going to be a lot of lore coming in tonight. Lot of lore. Oh, yeah, it's going to smash lots of records. It's going to smash lots of records. Raven at Fire, banger after banger after banger after banger. It's true. It's true. It's true. So, here is the current game plan. So we'll stream this. This is probably going to be about like a 3.5 hour stream, something like that. Because the runtime is like roughly 3 hours. So we'll do that. And then tomorrow, I'm planning to do the South Saga. Ooh. Rose, this has been so much fun. Thank you for taking time to do it, Tom. Watching reactions to your own stuff has been one of the best parts. Yeah, it's been crazy. It's been weird. It's been funky. But, yeah. We're going to get into some lore tonight. So, that being said, let's throw on this guy here. I'm also going to adjust this camera. It's annoying. No one needs to. There we go. Gotta make it look good. All right. Here we go. And so, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's freaking fracking do it. The start of Coach Season 4. Before we even get into this, of course, to kind of catch up where things are, you had the West Saga occur, you had the teasers for Coach Season 4. Rose, thank you for the membership. Appreciate you. And then in Season 3, Ambition is out. Ambition is out. Junior does not know it's Ambition. Junior has sent Lamy back into the crawl space. On top of that, Tom is in there as well. Tome is, who knows what's going on the beach with Chamas. There's a pretty big cliffhanger heading from Season 3 into Season 4. And then there's a pretty significant cliffhanger from Season 4 heading into Season 5. But now, let's get it.
There was a boy, and this boy had dreams, ideas formulating in his head, and he'd just go for it. How many changes do you need to go through before you don't recognize who you are anymore?
I'm looking for someone.
There's only one person I know who could get you into the void.
You're gonna take me to her. To Linda.
She's dead, Tom. You were looking for a freaking piece of insulation. If I didn't know any better, I'd say you were admitting defeat. How could you possibly know? What do you want from me? I don't want you to be afraid anymore. I want you to be great. Get up, Tom. Brian. You just have to trust me. Even the most broken things can be put back together. I have never been more alone. We're never coming back in there. I'm the reason he survives.
You have to be the insulation now.
Just wait and see what I have planned for us. The story's not finished yet. Now, let's get to it, shall we?
Oh, that's a great recap. That's a great frickin' frackin' recap. Just Fire, the division's been the East Central West, with the GCU already be wrapped up. Also, how the characters interacted with those divisions had stayed. Well, it'd be completely different storylines, completely different seasons, and on top of that, I mean, yeah, I would have probably... I don't know if I would have been able to get it done. I probably still would have had 6 seasons of Coach, because when I made the decision of like, okay, we're going past Season 3, it was going to end at Season 6. So, yeah, that was it. We finished in the story. Yes! Smoothie Gang! Let's go! Nose. That's right. We pumping it. crushing it. Look at this guy crushing it. Look at this guy. He's dirty blonde hair. Junior! Get lost, Junior. That's the script, by the way. So, fun fact. So there's a lot going on in this season, but I love this episode. And when I was planning this episode, the first scene I came up with was this. So I had been waiting a few years to do a callback to season 1. What's going on, LQ? How are we doing? So yes, a little bit. I can a little bit, but this is the callback, of course, to season 1, where there's a lot of callbacks to earlier seasons in this season, but this is the one where it's like one of, I would say, the first somber moments of Coach, right? It happens pretty early on, and it's like this gut punch of just missing dinner and not being there, and it ends on a really sad note. So I wanted to recreate this shot with very intentional lighting of you think you're going to get the same exact thing, except it's ambition this time. There's nothing in there. Doing the same workout when he's about to meet Tom, too. Okay. Oh, my God. I'm so happy I finally get to talk about this scene. So, when that happened, of me doing crappy pull-ups, the amount of people in the chat who are just like, that's not the right way to do pull-ups. I know it's not. That's the intention, because right now, basically everything that you are seeing, right, is being framed in a very positive way of like, oh, Ambition is doing like really well. He's doing, making the videos, working out, being healthy. But again, there's a reason why this is called The Cost. It's not that he's doing it correctly and or well. So that's like your first little, oh, things maybe, but that's like such a minutiae detail. But so people are like, Tom, you gotta be better with that. Better. Smoothie gang, smoothie gang, smoothie gang, smoothie gang. It's true, Luke. Oh, I love that shot. I love that shot. Come on now. I would also say that I think that I really got better with pacing during this season. Because a lot of times I would say one of my biggest struggles when it comes to making this stuff is sometimes like things just move too quickly, right? Of like, oh, so much has happened in 3 minutes because like I don't like a ton of filler. But I think I kind of got the pacing a little bit better this season. isn't real, baby.
Hey. Oh. Hey. Just, getting some work done. Something's different about you. How so? I don't know. You're just off. Not really sure what you mean. Tell me again what happened in there. We've been over this before, and I kind of have a lot of work to do, so if you don't mind... Tell me again what happened at Tome.
It's a darker season, so my hair is darker. You're welcome. That's how committed I am. I told my dirty blonde hair, hey, listen, be a little bit darker this season. Thank you. You're welcome. That's the commitment I have.
Okay. As you know, both Tome and I went looking for Chamas. And we found him. Unfortunately, Tome didn't make it. But thankfully, Chamas was taken care of. And then I escaped. Seems like it was just in time, too, considering what Lamy was doing to you. And you talked him into going back into the crawl space? I did, yes. Mm-hmm. I guess... I just don't understand. Junior? Is there a problem here? What? Because from where I'm sitting, Lamy was killing you. And if it wasn't for me, you'd still be back in that room being fed upon. And now? Look at all this. Everything is better now. Views are up, subscribers are up, opportunities. Sure, but what? Don't get me wrong, I'm happy you're back. It's just... What about everything else? What do you mean? Yeah, things are going well with... this. But what about everything besides work? I guess I'm not understanding. Since you've been back, you barely talk? You spend your entire day down here? I guess what I mean is, what is all of this for? What is this all for? This is for you. This is for us. We have a chance to finally make it big. Don't you understand?
Come on.
I don't see how this is for me. You don't see how this is for you. Everything that I've achieved, everything that I've earned, it all benefits you. It makes you stronger, better. And what if it's not? What if this isn't making me better?
So, okay. I also love... Hold on one second. Come on, Wussy. Yeah, buddy. Go upstairs. Can you make it upstairs? Good boy. So, yes, that was a Lamy name drop. But I also love this season because if you take it from Ambition's point of view, I think you could watch the season 3 finale and kind of agree with a lot of Ambition's points and be like, oh, all right, kind of makes a strong case. And so he kind of gets everything he wants, in which Chamas, You just went upstairs, my dude! Ah! He gets rid of Chamas, so there's no more fear. Fear isn't real. Which, again, is a great quote by itself, but, like Ambition, everything he does just takes it up significantly too much. But is basically walking into this and going, all right, I have control, and is seeing the direct results and how good it has been, right? He said subscribers are up, views are up, opportunities are up, all this stuff. But he's directly contrasting with another character, and now Sinclair wants to come down here. Sure, let's just have a whole party. Come on in. Come on, Sinclair. Come on. Yep. Everybody's here for the lore. And you know what? I actually, Papa Grossi installed the AC in this downstairs home. 1 second. Let's see if we get a little AC action going. Let's see. Come on, up. Yeah. Cool it down for the pups. Please hold your calls very important to us. Please don't blow a fuse. All right, here we go now. Here we go. All right, doesn't need to be at 9. Let's do low cool. All right. Let me know if that background noise gets in the way. Like if you can hear it and it's too annoying, then I'll turn it off. Anyway, so he gets an opportunity to do everything, and from his perspective, it's all working. Like, it's all work. It's all good. Excellent. And now there's a character that is directly saying, like, no, this is not really working for me. And that character, who's Junior, is a really important character. Like, there's a reason why Ambition is saying, like, hey, like, this is all for you, which is a whole bunch of BS, but this is all for you. It's going to make you stronger. It's going to make you better. And so this is like, okay, what unchecked ambition looks like. And right now he's being checked. When he went out into the world, he didn't think he would be. He would be able to just go straight to the top. And unfortunately, somebody's getting in the way. So immediately there is this confrontation that's occurring, and you could see that this is probably not going to end well.
Well, then I'm sorry to hear that. And we'll just keep working until it does. But there's more to it than just this. There's what? What else is there? Everything. You're just sitting in a dark room, just working your life away. I want to be great! You say that there's more, right? Tell me something, and be specific. What else is there? Were things better when Tom was out here? Mm-hmm. Or how about Chamas? Or do I need to remind you yet again of what Lamy did to you? Those days are gone. They are dead. Move on. I mean, how many years were wasted waiting for you to do your damn job and make me happy? You question my methods? What I'm doing? Tell me something, Junior. What the hell have you been doing?
Yes, Python.
Lamy, yeah, that looked like it was going real well. You ask, what else is there? Greatness. I want to be great. At what cost? Whatever it takes. There's not much left to lose. Well, you're right about that. This will work. Look at what we've accomplished, what we've done so far. This will make us happy. This will bring you back. Not like it was before, but better. All of this will be worth it. When will it end? When I'm satisfied. And when I say we're done. And what if that never happens? Then at least I can say I tried.
Good points.
You say that there's everything else. This is everything now. I don't know what happened to you in there. But I remember when this wasn't everything. And Junior, nobody is going to get in my way. Not even you. This is the new me. And I'm gonna do great things. How are you gonna know if it's us coming through the door, though? Well, you're gonna have to come up with something, a special way of communicating, like a knock.
I'm not doing that!
Yes. Remember? That was something that Tom loved to do. Yes. Of course. Junior. If you don't mind, close the door behind you.
Matrix. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Okay. So a lot happening there. First, Joyce, could ambition have recognized a secret knock since people in the void can see what happens in the real world? Excellent question. And technically, yes. So they, one, have to be in the void when it happens, which the timeline, I mean, he's digging up Rocky, you know, that happens too. So that happens relatively soon after Rocky is buried. So right around the East Saga, Tome comes through. So it's right around the same time. One, and then two, you have to be watching the TV too. So yes, just because they have access to doesn't mean necessarily they're watching and seeing everything. So, yeah. All right. So there's a lot going on. Ambition and Blood Demon, one of the same. Yeah. So white lettering on black background, just like the Grossi posse. So just like full Ambition, full takeover here. And then I want to talk about a couple of things here. So is Ambition like that dumb that he doesn't know about the secret knock, or he just kind of gives it away like that easily? So with that scene in mind, I always had it that Ambition doesn't really care, because at that point, Ambition has already made a decision. So if you want to ask, like, why is this episode called The Cost? Like, what is the cost? Yeah, he doesn't care. He don't care. He don't care. Oh, he's already made a decision. Oh, yeah. A decision needs to be... Himself? I don't know about himself. It's not himself. Yeah, it's Junior. So, like, who is Junior? So, Ambition came out here, and I like to think that there's some truth. It's definitely not all for Junior, but there's definitely some truth for him, like, oh, like, this will make you better, this will make you stronger, right? But because that's not happening, like, he literally says it in the episode, like, oh, like, nobody's gonna get in my way, like, even you. So the cost there, if we're looking at them as just as emotions of Ambition and Junior, it hasn't been, like, revealed. It's who's Joy, right? Ambition has made a decision of, like, oh, I was hoping this could work out because, like, Junior should love this. Junior should be so, so happy with all the good stuff that's happening. But he's not. And he's asking a lot of questions. And he's going to be a problem. And so right off the rip, you're going to see that, all right, if I got to take care of somebody, I got to take care of somebody. So literally the cost, like, of Ambition is going to be Joy. So that was kind of just established right there in the first episode. So, yeah. Okay, so that's the end of the first episode. That's a really strong premiere. Damn. That's a good one. Let's go. Yeah, Junior really does go through the ringer. That is a really strong premiere. That was good. That's, you know what? It's funny because it's probably up there. The season 3 one is good. I mean, season 2 and just the introduction of Chamas is so strong. Kevin, happy freaking fracking 30th birthday. Let's go. Let's go. I hope you enjoy the day. Let's get it. But anyway, I feel like the second and the fourth, yeah, they're really strong. The fifth is good too. I have to go back and watch it, but let's go. All right, so this episode is truly one of my favorite episodes. It was one of my favorite episodes to act in. It was one of my favorite episodes to write. Also, I had revealed the titles of the episode beforehand, and when I came out with the prince, people were like, what? Who's the prince? And then it was going back and forth and theorizing on, like, who the prince could be and who that character could be. And then when it was all done, there was still, like, a level of, wait, so who's the prince? And then we'll wind up explaining it in this too. But yeah, this was a really awesome episode to make. It was a giant pain in the ass because of the location. Like, huge pain in the ass. You did theorize a lot of characters. A lot of characters. Izzy, what's going on? But yeah, this is the prince. And there's some conversations that are long overdue. Because, real quick before we get into this, so I ran into a problem as well because the West Saga happened, right? So I put it in chronological order where you had season 1, season 2, then you had the East Saga, and season 2 ended right around the end of the East Saga, which is when Tome and Tom come into the crawl space, right? So then Coach season 3 happens, so we're still rocking with the timeline. But then the West Saga happens, and at the end of it, I have it so that you see Chamis and Tome on the beach and Captain Finn Oakley, who just went through all this time and this experience. And so I had to make up the time. And this is where you also, like, I really double down on, like, the time working differently outside and inside and in the void and on the beach. Because, one, I needed it to, but two, like, I wanted there to always be at least a loose timeline. Like, I wanted there to always be like, okay, if I really wanted to, like, sketch this out and map this out, I could do it. Not like it's so convoluted that you wouldn't be able to. So the issue with this was in the finale of the West Saga, this was such a pain in the ass. At the end of the West Saga, Captain Finn Oakley is on the beach, sees Tome and sees Chamis, and there's snow on the ground because it's in January when I'm filming it. When I am filming this, it's the middle of the summer. There's no snow on the ground. There's people. It's a pain in the ass. Everyone's doing their lawn. But I had to figure out, and this was like early on when I was writing, and I went, oh crap, like I'm kind of screwed there because I can't make snow on the ground. And so had to find a way to write around that. Should have been black and white this. Oh wait, never mind. There's a reason. This is shortly after the season 3 finale. Okay, so when I started this season, Tome, I was like really excited for his character because obviously there's a huge episode that occurs later in this season, but you had Tome, and yeah, like Tome could get very serious and all this great stuff, but there was always like, okay, gonna like bounce back, gonna kind of just be like goofy, what have you. And like now, this is gonna be like a completely different character because there's no anchor, there's nothing, and doesn't really even know what to do. Why don't I keep Chamis in the polo shirt? Because Sunday best, baby. Sunday best. Why are those? If I'm not, I don't remember if I had if that's the reason I'm thinking of why I did, which would then be a future spoiler. But it might have been I just wasn't as consistent with it yet. That could be it. That could be it. I don't remember at the top of my head right this second.
You're not going to hit me, right?
So that's also crazy too. Think about the amount of time that has passed for us from the season 3 finale where Tome is beating the ever-living crap out of Chamis. Then they go to the void, and then Tome disappears, right? So Chamis like doesn't see him for, it's not that long, but we as the audience like haven't seen these two characters in a really long time interact, but they haven't been apart for very long. So you had like Tome beat the crap out of Chamis and then also kind of be responsible for killing him. There's a lot of animosity there. And yeah, exactly. I loved this episode because you have two very core characters who have a ton of history in a short amount of time, and there's a lot of unspoken history as well. And that's why, like, one of my favorite scenes is in the finale of this. Like, there's a small talk that they have. But yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and also Chamas, like, killed Tom, too, you know, back in the real world.
Where did this jersey come from? Where are my other clothes? Did you undress me? Listen, I know you're love and everything, but at least take me out to dinner before you undress me.
So, okay. God, I love this season so much. So, this is a great conversation because lore that is, like, confirmed or has been theorized for years is just like carelessly thrown out there. And that's why I love it so much, because they're not around anybody else. For them, like, they have such a shared history that goes way back, like before you even saw them in Coach Season 2, right? So they literally are just talking like what they are, like their core emotions, like they're part of Tom, like they have obviously importance, and they're old and they have just like seen a ton of stuff. So when they talk, like, Chamas is a completely different character, because right now, like, Chamas not being menacing, he's not being scary or anything like that. He's just like, oh, this like kind of sucks, like we're both dead. And that's why it's so just, it flows like that. So yeah, like, you'll get some like deep cuts of lore, but I kind of like that it is just like thrown away, because for them and these characters, it wouldn't make sense for it to be like a big reveal. It makes sense to just have like that conversation.
I've heard about this place before. Never thought I'd actually find myself here, of course. Then again, I have sent many here. We're the only ones here, right? Let's just say that I'm not on everyone's nice list. So a little privacy wouldn't be the worst thing. So, how do we get out of here? Okay, look, I know that we hate each other and everything, but how about we press pause on the whole killing each other thing, because we succeeded.
I actually wish I held the shot there on Chamas's face for a little bit longer. Yeah, so the beach, like, this is also confirmed to be the afterlife. You saw it in the East Saga, you saw it in Coach Season 3, and so you saw it in the West Saga, and so now here it is from the perspective of characters that are higher up and more elevated than the Saga characters. But Chamas is like kind of going through it right this second, because he's never been here before, is a little bit concerned, and is also starting to face the very real possibility that, like, he might be dead.
Look, I understand you're upset with me, but we can't just leave Tom with him, right? Seriously, this is how you're gonna act. You know what? Fine. I'll find my own way out, and you could just continue sitting here being useless. Want to be freaking useless? Fine. Save myself. Then you'll be sorry.
I had to show the passage of time, and the walk from here to the bench is not very far, so I did the best I could with what I had to work with.
Finally, someone who actually might be useful. Excuse me, I was wondering if... Hello.
I was so excited to make this episode just for this reveal. It was a pain in the ass to get this shot, by the way, without showing, like, enough, like, without showing anything, but I wanted to give, like, a little bit. So you see, like, a tiny bit of blue, but, yeah, Gus was so out of left field and was a genuine surprise. But yeah, this is a pain in the ass shot because I had to keep on finding, like, okay, like, how much can I show without giving the entire thing away? That's right. Even Gus is back and getting an arc.
Finally. Someone who actually might be useful. Excuse me, I was wondering if...
Technically not on the beach. He's on grass. I still stand by that.
Hello.
Also, why is the lighting always good for Gus? Why? It's annoying. It's always good. It's always good.
Oh. Hello. Do you need help? Yeah. You could sit down if you want. I'm just waiting for my grandpa. Your grandpa? Yes. I think he'll like this spot.
Oh. So again, this is happening while the West is, like, going on. So, yeah, it's, like, before the West, so Grandpa Cardinal's not there. And again, as you found out from the West, that Eugene, Grandpa Cardinal, was Wildflower's grandpa, which means that he's also Gus's grandpa, he's also Bruce's grandpa, and he's also Rocky's grandpa. So this was, like, a perfect way to kind of, in my opinion, like, get a good amount of closure on Gus. Because the way that it went, like, the East Saga on Wildflower was, oh, this guy is awesome. And then there's and yeah, like, okay, he kills people, which is, like, not amazing, but, you know, he's just so cool and he talks funny. He has a crown and sunglasses. So he was a really popular character, right? But as time goes on, and the finale, when Wildflower reveals that his, like, parents are dead, and it's implied that he killed them, then it's like, oh, well, like, this is dark. Like, okay, like, Wildflower might legit just be, like, awful. And it's just, like, letting him get away with it. And I didn't do, like, really anything to dismiss that a ton in Coach Season 3, but, like, I started planting the seeds for it. And when, in the West Saga, when you get the full story, and, like, you know, Chamas was involved before that in Season 3, that kind of, like, pulls some guilt off of him. But then it's, oh, like, it's not his fault, right? He's kind of redeemed of, like, oh, he's not a monster. However, the fact does remain that he literally ran somebody over with a lawnmower. And I think that if you didn't get any update or closure on Gus, it would kind of, like, be that thing that was always there with Wildflower of, like, oh, yeah, like, that's still pretty brutal. And, like, I want there to be that, because he did still run somebody over with a lawnmower, right? But this is, like, a great way to bring Gus back and, like, make him feel like an important character, because after the East, you know, he was one of only 3 characters that died. And, like, Joe got some closure. Rocky, his story is still ongoing. And Gus is just dead. And I felt like that was very unsatisfying. And so because of that, that's why I wanted to do something again with Gus. Galaxy! Winter, the East Saga. Carl tells Joe that he's going to wake Springsteen up. Had the Jets beaten the Dolphins that week, how would Springsteen have woken up? And would Joe still have been killed when he did? So Springsteen would have just woken up. The game plan was for Springsteen just to wake up, like, whenever they won, and then it was just gonna be, like, how to introduce that. And that scene with Bruce like probably was gonna stay there, but having the stuff with Joe, yeah, it got to a point where I knew where Joe's character was gonna go. It was a shortened version of Carl's arc, in which like he's a garbage person, but then has a little bit of redemption at the end, and then that was gonna be it. So Joe would have still met his fate. Rocky was still gonna kill him because like I already established that pretty early on. So yeah, that was always gonna happen. Springsteen probably just would have woken up though.
You should be here soon, though. Soon here is kind of irrelevant.
Gotta talk about the time thing. There's time differences. Thank you, Carr, for getting into my shot.
Is your grandpa here in this place? No, not yet. But I can feel something's wrong. How? Well, I don't really know. I was just sitting here one day and I just felt them. And with enough practice and focusing, I realized that I could feel what they were feeling. And that's how I know you. What do you mean? I've seen you before. It just didn't look like you. But it was you. Because I was afraid. Yeah. It's a fun trick. And you did it to Rocky, too. Nothing personal.
Whew, okay. Yeah, that's a bombshell. Again, I think I've talked about it on these streams at this point, but showing that you have Chamas interfering like in the East Saga with Gus, and then the callback with Gus looking into the mirror just like Tom looked into the mirror for season 2 and like saw his reflection. Yeah, it's I loved that reveal, and Chamas being behind that just makes all the sense in the world, right? And just again, if you're talking about these core characters and you're starting to learn a bit more about them, you're seeing how they're influencing other characters. Chamas, this was established in season 2. He just like walks out the door, right? He could do that within Tom's mind. But you're going to start to see other characters impacted by these emotions as the series continues to go on, and yeah, it was so good.
I wish I could sit here and just blame it all on you. It'd certainly be easier, but I can't. You set me down a path, yes, but I chose to walk it. If it makes you feel any better, it was for the greater good. Whose? What? You said the greater good. Whose greater good? Who are you to choose? I am fear. That's a nice title and all, but what about joy? Or sadness? Or love? I'm the only one who can keep him safe. The others, they just make it worse.
So that is like the full reveal. So there in season 4, I remember making this, and the entire time I was like, oh no, like I am gonna be very clear about things. Like this is not gonna, like, we're gonna drag out all the questions and the answers are never coming, anything like that. Nay, like this was the season where I was gonna be like, nope, here are lore dumps. Like here's like what this world is. Let me be very clear about what it is, because if you have watched this far and you're like somewhat loosely following, I was like, okay, like here you go. Like here's the picture and where we're going. So yeah, I love it. Not based on the seven deadly sins. Nay. So Gus knows what's going on. Not really, but it's implied that he knows a lot as time has passed for him. And so he has had time and like focus and thinking. And again, time also passes differently there. So to just reflect on what happened and then can start to like feel his family and all that great stuff. So it's kind of, he's not fazed by it because like he's at peace with himself. So.
He's been hurt, but just like I did, ultimately just comes down to a choice.
Gus can't.
I think you're a little out of your pay grade here. Maybe. But we're both here, aren't we? For now. But not for long. And what will you do then? Maybe I'll mow the lawn. Upon this, a question arises. Is it better to be loved than feared? Or feared than loved? It may be answered that one should wish to be both. But because it is difficult to unite them in one person, it is much safer to be feared than loved. Difficult, yes. Impossible, no.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can we just pause for a quick moment? So that is Machiavelli from The Prince. Can we just say how flawlessly that works when you're explaining these two characters? Yeah, there's the reference. There's the first reference of The Prince. There's the first, don't worry, there's more. But damn, when I got the Machiavelli, I was like, hold on. Like literally when I was like, I can make this work within dialogue. Oh. That's again, there's gonna be a choice. It's gonna be a choice. It's true, Owens.
Well, we're not alone. And also, for some reason, it's freezing now. Okay, this is getting a little ridiculous now. You wanted to go into the void, and I...
This is all I have left of her.
Oh, he decides to grace us with his presence. What are you going on about?
It was the last place she was. And now it's all I have left.
She was here? Linda?
If you say her name again, I will never stop hurting you.
Okay. Sore subject. Noted.
Why aren't I gone yet? Why didn't I go with her?
You think she escaped?
No. She's gone.
Wait a minute.
There's kids playing in the background of this episode, and I'm like, Hikaru Day Fire saying, any tips on how to plan out lore and how to pay it off? I've been wanting to revisit a writing plot of my own, but I want to be able to set up lore. Don't think about it as setting up lore. And it also depends on what you're talking about. The way that I view lore is I have a baseline story, right? So I did season 1 of Coach. Okay, so now I have a foundation, something that if I want to flash back to, I can. So then I start writing some stories and plot lines and characters with earlier seasons and moments in mind and how I could eventually pay them off. So like you first need the story and the baseline and just publish that or establish that in some medium. And then you could start making callbacks to it and you could start expanding the world from there. I mean, that's what I did. But yeah.
Want to be gone too? Unbelievable.
Sure, Judy. Sure.
You know, I knew I was right. I knew that I was the only one that could save Tom, that could protect him. What are you?
Maybe you're right.
What?
Just leave me alone.
Look, I don't like it either, but we need to...
There is no we. Don't you understand? There never is or was a we. I'm alone now. I'm alone. So you go on and come up with any plan you want. I'm done.
So that's your plan? Just to sit there until you're gone too? Fine. You see, I knew you were weak, but I didn't realize that you were pathetic. You know what? No. You don't get the satisfaction of peace. Oh, you could have stayed in here.
Stop talking.
But no. You just had to go out, right? For what, a stupid game? And then I come out to clean up your mess.
And you strangled me and threw me back into the crawl space.
I sent you back. Why didn't you just stay? You could have just stayed. You could have been with her.
Don't.
You could have protected her. But no, you had to be the hero. And you left her. You left her to die. And I had to find her.
One more word.
Linda is dead because of you.
I know. I know. I'm the reason for it. I was wrong. But you just wanted control. He wasn't gonna have a choice. No. So don't just stand there and let that vial pour out of your mouth. This was never about helping Tom for you. You just did this for yourself. The lying, the manipulating, the killing. No. You're just as selfish and guilty as anyone else.
I'm the selfish one, Tom? What about you? You see, you had your time out there. I never got a fair shot. So when I get out of here, and believe me, I will, I am taking back control.
Okay, Jamis. You win. I can recognize that I might not be the one to help Tom. But you... there's no convincing you of that. You'll destroy everything if it means trying to prove yourself right. I hope you are. I wasn't.
Well, if
I'm done talking now. Just... leave. Just let me go.
All right. Just let me go. Right? Gotta let me go. Linda, Tom conversation. Yeah, there's so much there. That is like such a fantastic conversation that they have between one another of just like unpacking lore, unpacking their relationship. And when you see, I would honestly say probably for like the first time, right? You see like there's a bit of empathy like with Chamas. Like you saw him rattled when he found Linda and was like that hurt him. And then this just legit doubles down of like, you could have stayed in here. Like you should have done that. And there's like a legit, I wish you did. And it's not just so that I could run things outside. And so there's some deep cuts and they're both right? Like Tom deserves to get criticized for what he's done. And Chamas definitely deserves to get criticized for what he's done. But there's this line that Tom has saying that basically like you'll burn everything down just to prove that you're right. Hold on, right? That's the full line.
I hope you are. Convincing you, Tom. But you... there's no convincing you of that. You'll destroy everything if it means trying to prove yourself right.
So yeah, you'll destroy everything if it means proving yourself right. So like that's happening literally outside with Ambition. Like he will destroy everything. So he's taking over, he's in control. He thinks that he's right. Chamas, everything that he's done, he's been able to justify it to himself that it's trying to keep Tom safe. Right? Tom, he has his methods, which are kind of weird and not fully fleshed out yet, but will get fleshed out by the end of this season. So, yeah. There's a lot going on in that conversation. Special effects that I didn't know how to do. Bad cut there. I didn't do it. Try to make it look good. That was very difficult to make it look good. It's very difficult. So I told you about the snow thing, so here's the snow effect. I don't do special effects. It's the best I had, because I had to show that there was a passage of time on the beach, and that's what brought you to the end of the West Saga. So now, it's caught up, and it is minute 69. Nice.
Good day. Have either of you seen someone called Mech?
Oh, so now you're caught up. You also saw a hooded figure, like you did at the end of the West Saga, though it's not originally in the original episode because I forgot to put it in there. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, lot going on. So there's another meaning for the prince as well. If anyone remembers, there is another meaning more than the Machiavelli reference. Blood demon. Oh yeah, DC. Yeah, so we streamed it last night, all 7 hours. So yeah, so Gus is the son of Cowboys fans, right? So Gus literally like is the prince. It was established in the West and also in season 3 that like Gus was their favorite. Like he was the like William and Margaret's favorite. So he was also like the prince who was going to inherit everything. So yeah, that's it. Can I flesh out Linda's purpose? Sure. So Linda is basically, the way that I always looked at it was like the insulation that kept everything in its place and kind of like made sure that there were rules that weren't being like broken inside Tom's head, things that have been like established forever. And when Linda goes, that's kind of thrown into chaos. That's why like every character feels something, right? The core characters feel it. The saga characters feel it. And for example, that's also why, I mean, you're going to see later as well, there are consequences for when Linda died. And I said this, and like I was really, really clear about this at the end of season 3, like whenever I would talk about Coach. And then the West Saga happened, and there wasn't like a ton about like Linda and insulation. Like I think there was like a couple of lines, but there really wasn't anything. And so there was like, oh, that's it? Okay, just like people are sad and Tom's sad, but no. Like there are direct consequences that have occurred because Linda have died, and they're going to be fleshed out by the end of the season. So, yeah. Holding Tom's mind together. And so now, episode 3, The Void. So that's Tom. We don't wait the whole season this time. So that's Tom, right? He was in that the tank when we left him, and Lamy had found him. Real Tom, yes. Loved this shot. That's real Tom because of the hair color. Yeah, this is me. Dinosaur gang. Rex time. Come on. 11
I've never been. Yes, you have. I used to live here.
It's also the base of my mother's house. So, real quick, what's going on in my personal life at this point too is there is a very real possibility that I am moving to Wisconsin. No, that's not Papa Grossi. This is Mama Grossi's basement. And I had to prepare for that. And so when I was making these episodes, I was like, okay, there is a decent chance that before I'm able to shoot anything, I wouldn't be able to, like, explain all of a sudden lore-wise why I'm in a new house. And so legit, I was like, okay, I need to make sure that I have it in an episode, like in the lore of like, I need to tell the lore of the crawl space. And this is like part of this.
It's where we used to live. What do you mean, we? You weren't there. I guess there's worse places to be. So what's the plan? How are we getting out? There is no plan. But he tricked you. He's out there now. He didn't trick me. What? I knew exactly what he wanted. He told me. And I chose to stay.
So that's a pretty big admission right off the bat that, like, Tom let ambition leave. And it was a choice for him to stay. And it's like, woof. So at this point, similar to Junior, at this point, Tom has also, like, been through the ringer. Because Tom had season 1 happen, season 2 happen, goes inside his mind, gets caught and chained up by ambition, and then here's a pretty compelling argument about why his life sucks, kills fear, and is like, oh, that's not great. Linda's gone. Oh, that's not great. So he has been beaten down to a point where, woof, like it's not good times. And that was a decision, like, really early on that I was like, yeah, like, he can't be normal after that. And I think one of the best ways to explain that would be, hey, like, he chose to be here. Like, that was an active choice.
You what? This was my choice. What? Why? You let him take over? I did. Why would you do that? Because I agreed with him. Aren't you afraid that he's... No. I'm not afraid of anything anymore.
Fear be gone, baby. Fear be gone. Not the best idea.
I feel nothing. You're not supposed to be here. Yeah, well. I felt that way out there too. I think it's better off this way. Let someone else take the wheel. But then you don't have a choice. Yeah, well, look what I've done with the choices I've made. In my experience, it's better to at least be able to make those choices. I think I might have a little bit more real-world experience than you, considering you're new to this. I'm not new, Tom. You told me you were just out there with Junior. I mean, a little time out doesn't make you. That wasn't my first time out. Do you really not remember? Or are you forcing yourself to forget? Remember what? We don't have to talk about this. I don't understand.
Yes, you boy.
You put me in here. It was a long time ago, but it was you. Me? What do you mean? I put... No.
Getting deep into the lore. Lore is deep.
This was the first crawl space. What? It looks different than the one now. Probably gonna look different again in the future. But
Just in case I move.
it's always been there. The reason I remember what this place was is because I was there. Until you put me in here.
Oh, good, perfect.
Hey, you put me in this place. In the dark. In the void. No. Yes. You did. I don't know you. You did. But then, you didn't want me. You tried to ignore me. And when that didn't work,
I love that shot.
you buried me. I was so young. Yes. But you thought it was better to bury me. And so you did. But, as you know, we don't stay buried. I guess we can chalk that up to another bad choice. Thankfully, neither of us have to worry about that ever again. So that's it? Yeah. That's it. You're giving up? No. I'm just letting go.
Did I put a Rise Against lyric in this? Yes, I did.
He's going to destroy you. I don't think there's much left to destroy.
Fall back to that letter. Season 2
Guessing
finale.
this is you. It doesn't happen often. But every now and then I get through. Why is this happening? Because you thought you weren't supposed to. And so for years and years and years, you didn't. It's long overdue.
Cooking.
Oh. It hurts so bad.
Right? So good.
I know. I don't want it. I don't want to feel like this. You don't have to.
I love that cut. I love that cut so much.
I'm hungry.
So many more times, yo. Woo! I love that ending. That ending is really good. Oh. There it is. There it is. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a good episode. It's still not my favorite. I don't think I think I was honestly upset because I think at that point it was a very long day and like I felt the acting could have been better. But that's where I was. Mark! Tom over here on Zillow doing an advanced search. Single family home must have basement garage with terrible lighting and creepy ass crawl space. Those are just non-negotiables, you know? I just need it. That's it. That's it. I'm hungry at that moment. Yeah. So this is like, you're also another peak with like Lamy because we've established Chamas, we've established, ambition at least a little bit. We've established Tome. And it's like, okay, like, yeah, these are Junior, of course. So, like, you have, like, the core three. And then Lamy is not, like, is a character, but kind of is, like, a background character in season 3. And, like, you don't get a ton of screen time with Lamy. And so this episode, like, Lamy provides a lot of, like, the lore. And Tom gets to a point where he starts breaking down. And that's where you see, like, the opportunistic and you see, like, the, oh, he's still a problem of, like, I'm hungry. And so now it's, like, trying to feed on Tom just like he did with Junior. Because, again, there's another reason why, like, Lamy literally says it to Tom, like, you shouldn't be in here. Like, you should not be here. Like, this is bad. He recognizes that it's bad. And so, yeah, it's not good. It's not good. Not good. All right. Real quick, we're going to get some high-quality H2O. The dogs are very happy that they're laying in air conditioning right now. All right, so quick, P for the D, get some water, and hold up. All right, right back. Da-da-da-da. Nice and cool in here. Air conditioning makes the body and spirit weak. I never have AC. And I just went upstairs where there was no AC, and it was miserable. I was not prepared for it. Ugh. Just makes the body and the spirit weak. That's it. That's it. Angel! Return. Sorry to say, the reason Gus always looks good in shots may not be the lighting, could be as your color is blue, makes your dirty blonde hair pop and all that. So you're saying if I was a Cowboys fan, then people would finally admit that I have dirty blonde hair? That's true. Trey, it's coaching time, and then I coach all over the place. It's true. So much coaching, so little time. It's true. It's true. What's going on, Trey? We gotta come back during the North Saga. That's why the Steelers character is named Steve. True story. True story. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Tree can do play-by-play for hockey. Oh yeah. Real good. Real good. Let's go. Let's go. All right. So this season also there are more characters now. I'll be doing things that day. That makes sense. That makes sense. At this point, I have to separate the time and episodes well. Or like differently, I should say. Because I know what the last 3 episodes are. And I knew that in the beginning of the season. I was like, okay, I know it's going to be the nightmare, then it's going to be the love, and then it's going to ultimately be the finale. So those were locked in. And usually I do 6 episodes a season. So I was trying to plot this out and how much I needed to get through and how much I needed in this season. And I was like, oh, that's not good. So I extended it, and this is why this is the first season of Coach that was 8 episodes instead of just the regular 6. So that's it. That's it. That's it. All right, let's rock. 99 degrees. Oh, it's gross. And gross.
Who do you get along with? You don't have to.
Brickthaniel, my boy!
You Robin Hood? Got the men in tights up there. You gonna sing a song? Ooh, are you gonna dance? And to think that Von Miller picked you over me. My name is Frederick. Okay, Fred? I'm assuming you know who I am? No, I don't. Harsh, but okay. But neither do you. Ooh, mysterious. And let me guess, you're the one who's gonna show me who I truly am. Yes. Not interested, Fred. Turns out I already gave it the office. So if you could just point me to the nearest exit, that'd be great. Something funny to you? You remind me of someone I used to know. 2 people, actually. You're a little bit more of an ass, but there's similarities. But that's in the past. We're in the now.
When will then be now?
And now, it's time to wake up. I'm good. I've dealt with stubborn before. Patrick! Yes. Tell our friend here how I found you. Well, I was in a pretty rough spot.
It's true.
Just jumping through tables night after night.
Gonna be a main character.
God. And then Frederick found me. Gave me purpose. Showed me that the life I was living was a lie. Is that when you realized you were born to be a star? No. I just showed him the bigger picture. Ah. So you're a cult. We prefer mafia.
Ah.
Cool. Thank you, Patrick.
Thanks, Pat.
Yes, thanks, Patrick. Love the shirt, by the way. I was once like you. I highly doubt that. I had a family. A life. And then I met him. What? You know what's really a pity? It's that you're just waking up before I destroy all of you. And suddenly I realized it all meant nothing. Nothing mattered. I saw him change into a completely different person and vanish right before my eyes. So I left. And now I'm waking others up so they can stop living a lie. Okay, so let me just see if I got this correct. You were doing your thing, and then a guy showed up who then changed into another guy who then disappeared. And that whole thing awakened you, and now you're on a path to tell people how crazy you are. Look around. What? What do you see? A room. Look closely.
Love those posters.
It's a room. Does anything look familiar? Well, this is your place, and I've never been here, so no. Are you sure? Listen, Freddy, I don't know what you got going on, but Look. Look at what I don't see. I won't be bothering you anymore. I've been here. This was the house for the show. How? This was my old house, too. And wildflowers and probably countless others. I don't understand. I know. How am I here? We all are. The wool has been over your eyes for some time. But once you see, you realize that none of it mattered. What's going on? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Will you help me? None of it was real? No. The show, the people, it meant nothing?
Okay, so I love this episode. This season, I think it's great. But this episode's really important because just like we had in Coach Season 3, after the East Saga, I needed to weave in the East Saga with Coach. We do that. Then, with this one, I needed to do it with the West. And so the West needed to also be interwoven with this. And this is the story I always wanted to tell, like with Mac and Captain Finn Oakley. Like, that's how it's going to start being a part of this crazier thing. And then with Breck and Mac, it just works so well. And I think Breck is like the perfect character to sit in front of Frederick and hear all this just like the audience is hearing it for the first time. Because I think if it's played super seriously, I think that there's a risk of it sounding like, okay, this is like kind of corny. But if you have somebody who is doubting you and somebody who is like poking holes in it and is kind of making light of it, but then you have like that profound experience that goes, oh crap, he was right. I think as Breck is convinced with this, like the audience kind of is too. So that's why I set it up the way that I did. And now at this moment of like slight awakening of that Breck is going through, he now has to face a person that he killed. But the problem was, or at least he thought that he killed. The problem is Frederick is firmly on this side, and this is something that's going to develop throughout the series. He is firmly on the side that all of his experiences, like when he's thinking about Bruce and Springsteen and had a family, he says none of it matters now. He's saying like none of it was real. None of it mattered. Nothing it means absolutely nothing. And I think this would make sense because the choice to interweave like these Saga characters into Coach, it only makes sense that not all of them are just gonna be like, okay, la da da, like just going out with my life, because they're forming relationships, friendships, etc. It's gone beyond that. We saw that with The Beach, which debuted right in the East Saga. And then you have Joe that's yelling at something to like take him to try and save his son. So you see these elements of Coach like throughout the sagas, even though it's not explicitly said, this is Coach. And so as this kind of goes on and as the interweaving continues, now it's, oh, sure, if there's characters who figured out or who are awake, but not to the extent that they think they are, which is important for next season. If they think that they're awake, they're not going to be really happy about that and be like, oh, so my experiences mean nothing? Well, in this case, like, I'm going to go and try to figure out what the hell is going on because basically my mind just got broken. And so, yeah, running with that storyline, which is going to directly oppose another Saga storyline. And so for season 6, you are going to see like the resolution of like these Saga characters versus Saga characters, while also playing a larger role for Tom, who like starts meeting a bunch of these Saga characters, and it will just fully be interwoven. And you'll have your last season.
When I said I didn't know you, that was only half true. But I know somebody who does know you.
Zoinks. Take care, Dorn.
Come with me. What?
Remember, none of it's real. Why is Breck even nervous? Why? Jersey large. Yeah, literally calling him into the room where it happened. And like it had to be done in here. But there's a reason why Mac is calling him in here.
Do you? Yes. When I woke up in the woods, I felt a lot of things. No. It's not your turn. I felt pain, anger, betrayal. I thought about my awful parents. And I thought about hurting you. And then I felt warm. Like I was on a beach. I could smell the salt in the air. I could hear the waves.
This will come back.
But then they found me. And they brought me back. And when they did...
Okay, just a heads up. It's okay, buddy. You're okay. So, I think we're getting some, like, thunderstorms rolling through here. And, like, the wind is picking up. So, just in case, just don't freak out in case, like, the power goes out, you know, and the stream ends. And if it does, like, I'll do everything I can just to get it back online.